Yeah, okay.
Okay.
This is my wife, Jane Dykstra, and she wrote the book, What Heaven is Like. It's from her personal experiences. 6 years ago, she went in for a surgery. She broke every bone in her ankle. Her foot was twisted all the way to one side, and she went in for a 4-hour surgery. And when she came out and she was still in anesthesia, she said, I saw your father. And my dad had died 40 years before when I was only 15 years old. And she said his name is Kilmer Oscar Jr. and he was born in the Philippines. His parents were teachers in the Philippines, and that's where he was born. And he hated to wear shoes because after they moved from the Philippines, they moved to the Hawaiian Islands, and he just hated wearing shoes his whole life. So he had told Jane things that only I would know or my immediate family because I never talked to Jane about my dad. It was just too painful for a 15-year-old to lose his dad, who was my very best friend. So that's where the story started. And then Jane has had visions for the last 6 years. She has had this special talent since she was a little girl that she would sleep talk. And when we first met, she used to have nightmares, and I would be able to get into her nightmare and say, oh, you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay. Well, after the accident, my parents were able to communicate through her, and we have hundreds of recordings from my parents talking to me through her. And this is our special story, and my parents and God have asked us to come out and share this story with everybody and let you know a little bit what heaven is like. So here's Jane.
Hi. This has been quite an experience for me because when Richard told me what I had said to him, I remembered the vision when I was having the surgery. And I remember looking up at the light and thinking, here's this man standing in front of me that I've never met before. And there was this brilliant light behind him. And I thought, I think I must have died now. Didn't know what the light was, but I was having this surgery, and this voice came out of the light and said, hello, I'm Kilmer Oscar Jr., and I'm Richard's dad. And I looked at this man and I thought, something must be wrong with me because I don't know why I'm seeing this man. And he went on to explain that he has been trying to talk to his beloved son ever since his death 44 years ago. And his son wasn't listening. So could I please do him a favor and tell Richard that I had seen his dad during surgery, tell his son that he's okay, he's happy, he loves him, he misses him, and he's never let go. And he told me to tell Richard that it is possible for loved ones to communicate with each other after somebody has passed on. And I have had a calling this past year. I started writing this book about a year ago, and it came out about 2 months ago. It came out as an ebook first, and then now it's been published. I felt this calling to go out and share this gift with everybody because I'd heard about near-death experiences where somebody has a heart attack and they die for 60 seconds and they're resuscitated, and then they talk about seeing the light and seeing their loved ones when they've actually their heart has stopped, so they've clinically been dead for 60 seconds. But what's unusual about my gift, and the reason I wanted to share this with everybody, is because I continue to see Richard's loved ones, and I see my loved ones, and I see Richard's dog. I see his pets that have passed on because God so loves us that even our pets join us in eternity. And then I just think that that's just such a wonderful father to have given us such a wonderful gift. And the unique ways that Richard's used my gift is I do sleep talk. So he talks to his family through me at night when I'm sleeping. But everybody has the ability to talk to their loved ones in their own way. And it's a gift that you develop with those who have passed on in your own manner and in your own way. And I explain how to do it in my book, What Heaven is Like. Um, you might not have somebody next to you that sleep talks, but I know you all have had a little voice inside your head before that said, now don't do that. If you do that, you're going to get burnt, or if you put that in that pan right there, you're going to scorch the milk. Or you've all had some little voice who said, don't turn down the street, there might be traffic. That little voice inside your head that you hear, that's the voice of a loved one who cares about you, whether it's a husband, a wife, a grandparent, a sibling, somebody who's talking to you. And if you've ever heard that little voice inside you before, you understand what I'm talking about. You can hear someone who loves you who has actually passed on. And I want to share with everybody that this is a gift that God has given to all of his beloved children, and that's the ability to talk to someone who's passed on. Maybe you won't hear the same voice that you've come to associate with your loved one, but if you close your eyes, you can feel them. And if you close your eyes, you can actually hear these little whispers in your ear of somebody trying to touch you that wants to talk to you. I'm going to read from my book, the introduction, and then we'll let Richard explain a couple of details that he'd like to talk about, and then we'll open it up for questions or answers or comments, because as we've done this tour, we've heard so many beautiful stories about loved ones who have been touched by angels, whether it was someone who's had a loved one pass on and that loved one has left quarters in the car and in cups where there were no quarters there before. We've heard all kinds of angel stories, and everybody's been touched. So we'll open it up to questions.